Good morning, people of the internet. What is going on? A little bit of sad news, and not gonna lie, you guys have seen so much stuff about the RX7 recently, and we haven't even touched the R33. It's got some things that I need to sort out as well. The RX7, we have just done the V-mount conversion, and it is amazing. This thing is staying so incredibly cold. However, it lasted a week on the road, and now we are having another issue. I don't know if you guys were able to hear exactly what the acceleration was like in the previous video. It was an awesome time, but we've heard a little bit of a, I don't know, metallic-y, siren-y kind of noise from the car, and originally I just think it was a boost leak. So we've had a little bit of a play around. I've fixed up all the hose clamps and everything. I do believe that we have a bigger issue on our hands, which isn't fun at all. So I'll play the clip for you right now. You can definitely hear a very distinct noise when I'm coming on to boost on this thing. And I do believe that I may have potentially... Whoa, what was that? God damn it, I hope I filmed that. Now, this could be a few issues. For one, I thought it sounded like a boost leak, and the fact that it's come on so quickly, it also sounds like a boost leak. We have more than enough power there, so I'm really hoping that it is a boost leak. Worst comes to worst, I think we have blown the twin turbos on this thing, and that is so sad. I was gonna go single turbo eventually, like within the year, but I definitely wasn't planning on doing it this quickly. So I'm gonna start pulling some stuff apart, see if I can find anything. Okay guys, so we've pulled apart most of the intake side of it down to the actual turbo wheel itself. There is a little bit of oil, but I would honestly say nowhere near as much as what I would think to be a blown turbo. So I'm gonna go quickly grab a microfiber and see if I can feel anything going on, because I honestly don't believe that I've blown the turbo. The only thing I did notice is there is a lot of residual oil on the outside of that turbo right there. So let's have a see if we can do a quick little feel. Okay, so there's a lot of shaft play. Feeling it, it doesn't feel like it's touching the housing by any chance. You can also see there's no scrape marks on the actual, or on the housing either, so kind of rules out that. So I was just working on the car, and a little magpie came up, and there's some people across the road as well. But yeah, I was feeding a magpie and stuff like that, just some bacon, and there's like a really tame little baby magpie that comes in. And Douglas, hey, come on, do it again, do it again. Show me what you were doing before. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. Come on. Come here. Come on. Dougie, hey. What are you... Right, so I'm not going to really run it for long because we have no intakes on it whatsoever, but I'm just going to quickly start the car and probably I'll just try and see if anything any oil comes out or anything starts burning off. I'm just going to try and see if I can find anything whilst everything's apart, because I haven't been able to find anything, and I'm praying to God that it's just a boost leak, and so that way we can put everything back together. Probably should have done it first, and we'll do a boost leak test anyway, see if I can find anything. So I'm just going to quickly plug all the vacuum lines in, do everything like that, and we'll see how we go. Right, so I'm just going to wait for everything to burn off, and stick my hand down there, hopefully not in the turbine, see if I can find anything. I also found another coolant leak just underneath that. It was just very slowly weeping. So yeah, I'm going to quickly top up that coolant too, because I did lose a little bit and tighten it up. So yeah, just make sure, see if I can find out where it's burning off. That's a lot of air being pushed out there. Holy. Alright, so I'm trying to find any leaks whatsoever, and I can't find anything as of yet. That's just all the degrees are burning off. So yeah, here's to hoping. Alright, so that's no longer degreaser. That is, in fact, turbo. And I'm not entirely sure what is causing that. Alright guys, so it's been a few hours and I've just been going over the car and basically trying to clean it as much as I can, starting it up, letting it run, letting it get hot, and seeing if I can find any oil. So far I haven't found any oil coming out of anywhere crazy. It's just literally burning off as soon as it comes out. So there's no crazy big oil mess anywhere. But yeah, so we're going to put the car back together right now. I'm just going to put it back together and make sure that everything I can possibly tighten down is tightened down. So yeah, maybe I had a little bit of a boost leak, I'm not quite sure. We'll get back to it though and see if we can figure it out. Either way, the turbo is going to need to come off anyway, because it does have that that smoky sort of bit to it, and I hate looking at smoke on cars because it's just bad. It should never be there. So yes, we're gonna go from there, gonna put everything back together on the car, and fingers crossed we should be all good. Oh, and also running the car whilst it had all this disconnected actually just loosened that bolt right there that I snapped. So as you guys can see, the snap bolt is now out, and now we can use the bracket and some spare bolts that we have to actually fit it properly. So now it's all legal, which is sick. So I'm stoked about that. Alright guys, so the car is all sorted now, ready to go. We're just going to quickly start it up, take it out for a quick little test drive, get on boost, and see if that coupler was the issue. I don't know if I told you guys, this coupler here was left a little bit loose, so I'm praying to God that that was the issue. Let's hope that's the issue, and we'll take it out for a quick rip. My driveway is the scariest thing in the goddamn world. Oh God. Oh God, please turn straight. Okay, we're good. Rightio, let's have a little look. Oh, it sounds so much better. Okay, so as it turns out guys, I think that massive big noise was just a boost leak, which is awesome. But it's only one way to find out, I guess, and that's to have a little bit of a play around, I guess. Good morning, people of the internet. I believe this is actually a carry on from like the last 3 days in one video. We're doing a little bit more work on the RX7 today. You guys would have seen hopefully in this video that we found out that this coupler down here was actually loose and it was letting a little bit of boost through. That was creating a little bit of a boost leak issue. But now we're working onto the reason why it's smoking. So having a little look back at the footage, I stuck my phone down there with the flashlight on and video recording, see if I could see anything around there. It looks as though the coolant port on the stock twin turbos is weeping or leaking, which I'm hoping could be the cause of that smoke or steam coming through the bonnet. The smoke that's coming out looks like thick white smoke, but I could understand if it was coolant just going out onto the turbo. But it also looks a little bit wet around the actual exhaust housing of the turbo. So today, Gene's coming over to come and pressure test the cooling system. I don't have a coolant pressure tester just yet, but I'm going to take off all this piping. We're going to work our way down to just the twin turbos right there, so that way we can turn the car on, see exactly what's happening down there, and we'll go from there. So quickly, let's take off the strut brace, all the piping once again. You've already seen it in the videos before. Let's quickly do all that. Also, just letting you guys know that I am actually really excited to always work on this car. I know it sounds really stupid, but this car is one of the most simple cars I've ever had to work on, especially with the Grady V-mount now. Everything is just so nice and, you know, nicely proportioned. I could imagine that trying to get up underneath to the rat's nest and all those vacuum lines, I don't want to touch just yet. But in terms of like all of this piping here and just everything around the engine, everything has been really easily accessible. And to be honest, I haven't had to really fight any bolts whatsoever. So this has been a really, really nice car to work on. This one here was the worst, and then the Falcon, and then, yeah, this has just been such a beautiful car. Nothing has fought me. You know, the V-mount went together so amazingly. I'm just so happy with this car. It's awesome. Mate, you're back. I tell you what guys, I've been trying to teach this little tiny magpie baby to try and eat out of my hand. Will this be the first day? Come on, mister. You got it. Come on. No? Here, how about I put a little bit in the ground for you? You ready? There you go. Grab that bit. Bacon. He's so tame, like literally he's like, I don't know, less than half a meter away from me. And then he takes it away, goes to kill it. He's so cute, he's just chilling. So this bit I've just quickly loosened off underneath the car is the intake for the rear turbo. So if I can squeeze this up out of the way without destroying anything, I'm gonna show you guys something. So I noticed there was a little bit of oil down there. Actually doesn't look too bad. A lot better than what I thought. There's no oil up through here, so. Man, the inlet for these turbos are tiny. There you go. So that's actually not too bad. I was expecting a lot worse. Okay, so now the rearmost one is taken off, we can get to the bolts up here, and then we can start to take off this upper sort of turbo. Would you call it a manifold? Like an intercooler manifold? Oh, I don't know. What would you call it? Technically, it would be a manifold, but for the other side, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to take off everything and try and remember where all these vac lines go. I'm just going to do it really slowly off camera, so that way I try and remember exactly where they're all coming from, because I do not want to mess these up, because that could be bad. Alright, so another thing that I really wanted to have a quick little look at is in terms of the manifold thing. I know it sounds stupid, but I saw a guy, Marcus Reed. Everyone knows him as Matey here in Australia and probably the world. Anyway, Matey posts up a whole bunch of parts, and I've been fortunate enough to sort of, I've been fortunate enough that he's able to have helped me out with a whole bunch of times, mainly in terms of the 71-degree billion thermostat, as well as a few other little pieces like the caps as well. So he's been sort of able to help me out a whole bunch of times, and actually it would have been cheaper and quicker to get the V-mount from him, but because he gets so many parts over, he kind of just posts them up when he gets them, so he doesn't know what's coming, he doesn't know what's in order. So I know it sounds weird, but yeah. But anyway, so one of the things he posted yesterday is the fact that this manifold right here is actually set up into two pieces. And so what actually happens is, I don't know if you can see, there's actually a join in the middle of the manifold down there. And there's actually an O-ring that seals that off. Now, one thing that happens is that O-ring there, if you have turbos that are pushing a little bit of oil, that O-ring can break down just over time, because it is a 20-year-old car now, 21-year-old car. And the oil drips down from that and goes onto the dump. Now this could potentially be another thing as to why I'm seeing so much smoke coming from around that area. So could potentially be it. There's a whole bunch of things that's happening down here that we're going to be having a look over. We're going to be having a look at every oil in, every oil out, every coolant in, every coolant out, making sure that everything's doing everything it's supposed to be doing, and checking that O-ring there, because I really want to make sure that my car doesn't go up in flames. It's happened before to a whole bunch of FDs, and I don't want that to happen to mine. Alright, so I got everything off this manifold right here. All the nuts are undone. The only one I had an issue with was there's two on each side, and this one here is sort of angled down, so I had to work my way around the dump pipe from underneath. But after I got that, that was fine. So in theory, this should all come out. I think I've just connected everything, apart from those two there. Once again, this car has been so easy to work on through everything. So incredibly easy. Manifold coming out. As you can see, it comes out in two parts. Oh, that's cool. That's the butterfly valve. Oh, that's wicked. And check this out. Look at that. That's all oil from that O-ring not sealing. Wow, that's mental. That's all fresh. Look at that. And something I never thought would have been the case. That's insane. So you can very easily see, I'll bring it out in the sun a little bit, but look at all that. Wow, we're gonna have to get a new O-ring for that. And would you look at that? There is literally fresh metallic oil all over the dump pipe, which is exactly how some cars in the past have gone up in flames. I never would have even picked it. I wonder why it's so metallic. It's so odd. Don't know. Well, that right there is a win in my books. Ever since I noticed that smoke, this car has not moved from the garage. I'd literally drive it around the block to get it heated up so I could try and see exactly where it's coming from. And the fact that it's coming from around that dump right there, and the fact that there is literally fresh oil on it, and you can see where you can literally see where it's been breaking down and burning off on the dump. The fact that this issue has been known to kill cars, set them alight, is kind of scary. So I'm really glad that I managed to find that. That's awesome. I'm so happy about that. Okay, so what I've found out at the moment is so the front turbo, I believe on these is the smaller turbo, and the rearmost turbo is the bigger one out of the two. So that could be justified by this right here, this butterfly valve. It would, in turn, when this actuator here is closed, you can see that that closes off. So if they're in a vacuum right there, and then once it hits sort of boost pressure, it'll start to open up and allow that bigger turbo to spool up right there. But unless it's actually making boost, you can see that because that is closed right there, it'll just be pooling oil down the very bottom of that, which is why you could see oil all the time. And then I could imagine when I was doing some big pulls, when this finally opened, it was just blasting all that oil straight out there, which I could imagine is the reason why it was smoking after some sort of heavier pulls. So, yeah, there you go. Very interesting. Having a look at this turbo down here, you can sort of see there is a fair bit of oil that has collected around this gasket right here. In the actual turbo housing, there's not even as much oil as I thought. However, this one down here, there is definitely a little bit more oil than I originally thought. They're not overly bad. The shaft play in both of them is actually seems fine. It's, you know, a 21-year-old set of twin turbos, and it's making currently like 330, 340, 350 horsepower. So I can imagine that they're not exactly holding up to the sort of power level that it's currently doing, but you know, they're not overly bad. They are pushing out a little bit of oil though, so that is definitely a concern. And because it's going on to the dump pipe there, that is definitely not what we want. So I'm gonna order a new O-ring for right here, so that way we can hopefully seal off a lot more of that oil that's currently sitting down there, because we cannot have any oil dripping out of this right here. Like, look at all that. That's crazy. I don't know, I could be wrong on how that whole setup works, but I don't know, that's just the way that it makes sense in my head at the moment. So I don't know. If you have any comments or anything, feel free to prove me wrong in the comments, because I actually really like that when you guys do that, because I get to learn as well. So this is a big development for me. I think I might have to push the wrap back a week, but apart from that, I'm glad that we can finally get there safely. I'm going to clean everything up. I'm also going to redo the copper washers for the oil in and the coolant in as well, and just double check everything underneath the turbos as well to make sure that they're all good. There's just so many lines and so many things that's just going on down there that I just wish I could block off, but I can't. So yeah, anyway, that's all good. We'll go order some parts and we'll put it all back together. Anyway guys, this next bit's going to be a bit of fun. I've just quickly cleaned up sort of everything that was around the RX7. We're just going to leave it lifted up like this so we can get it all back together as soon as the O-ring comes in. I also believe that instead of running these gaskets again, because they were seeping a little bit of oil, I'm going to either try and replace them if Marcus has some. If not, I'll end up just putting some gasket maker on them, so that'll be fine. Alrighty, in terms of the R33, we have something that we really need to desperately do today, and that is to clearance these guards. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye to the guard liners, because there's no way to actually roll these guards right here with the stock guard liners in. And they have been chewing up my tires just like they did with the 265. So we're going to be doing that today. The paint and everything on this is already screwed up, so I don't have a heat gun. I'm just going to clearance it, make it work, and we'll go from there. So anyway, I'll quickly take these wheels off and we'll sort that out. So although this is something I never wanted to do, I am going to be taking out the guard liners in the R33. It sucks, I know, I love it. I love the fact it still has guard liners in it, but for me to roll the guards and for me to keep these wheels, keeping the liners in just isn't going to work. They've already self-clearanced as much as they possibly can. So unfortunately, yeah, it's going to have to happen. Looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of weight reduction here too. Oh my god, look at all that. It is a zip tie. The things you find. Bro, this was all just caked up behind these guards here. Look at that. The hell's that? A little bag of some description. Yo, it has Japanese writing on it. That's sick. Why on earth is that there? Alrighty, so one guard liner is out, as you guys can see. We've been rubbing a fair bit down there, but that's all good. I will keep them just in case we ever do something with it again. But now we can... Oh my god, there is so much dirt. Why is it all down here? I could imagine Travis probably had something to do with it, so I'm just going to take the time to thank him. Oh my god, it's like the entire side skirt is filled with dirt. Look at all of this. Oh my god. That's crazy. Dude, I'm finding some weird crap in here, hey. Yep. Yep. Cool. Interesting. Okay, so I don't want to really, I started to rub off some of the stuff and I don't really want to do it anymore because there is a, I don't know, Samet, if you're watching, the hell is this? I don't want to touch it anymore. Okay, so I looked up the second number, the 0120, and it came up with this, which is a Japanese wedding. Yeah, there you go. There's the exact thing right there. Studio primer. I have no idea what these guys do. Looks like wedding photography. So, there you go. I can understand that. Oh, there you go, wedding photo studio. Oh, that's cute. I thought it was definitely a lot worse. It's good to know that back in the 1990s there was a Japanese bloke that had this car that got married at some point. That's so nice. That's some wholesome as hell content right there. I love it. Hammer. Yay. Time for some clearancing. I'm just going to be very, very careful not to damage anything. Fenders rolled. Perfect. I feel like spreading this authentic JDM dirt on the only place that sort of grass isn't growing at the new house is going to help it just a little bit. So, fingers crossed, eh? Bro. Alrighty, we should be good now. With enough clearance there, we'll drop it down. Really slowly, hopefully. Whoop, better move those tweezers. Try and find the original Japanese owner. Oh, wasn't any tweezers on there, that's right. Whoop, that was a little bit quick, that's alright. Cool. I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's to see if it makes it out the driveway. It used to scrub the worst down here, so we'll find out. She's all sorted, so only on full lock, when I was at full compression, did I end up scrubbing the guards, which is exactly what we want. We don't want to be grabbing it or doing anything crazy, so that is all sorted now. Beautiful. Now just got to get that engine code, read it. The engine code used to come up when it was only misfiring on cold start, but now it's actually fully stayed up, so it's a proper code now and I can actually get it. So I'm gonna get the laptop real quick and read that. Okay guys, well that's me done for today, and I think the rest of this video. So thank you very much everyone for watching. We did a whole lot of work on the two cars. I-Class today is super successful. We have fixed the guards on the R33, well fixed. They work now, we don't scrub anymore, and it's not gonna be chewing up any more tires anytime soon. And the FD, we figured out exactly why it's smoking. We also figured out that the turbos are on their way out, but they're fine to drive on at the moment until we get a new single turbo kit. In saying that, I have been looking at single turbo kits and I have been tossing up a few. A very big part of me wants to keep this car very period correct, and I kind of really like the way that that would go, simply because, you know, we have a beautiful FD, we've got that beautiful Greddy V-mount intercooler, then we also have the bronze TEs. Everything about this car just like screams error correct, and I absolutely love that about this car. I reckon it's absolute perfection, and part of me is saying go Greddy single turbo setup, which uses a TDO6 25G. It is a fairly big turbo, however, the thing about Greddy is the fact that the turbos are like 20-year-old technology. It would be cool and it would sound cool with this car, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a very, not so much, well, it would be laggier than the newer turbos, but it wouldn't just have the same street ability as what a Turbolone or a Pack or a, I don't know, just a lot of different turbo kits that are out there. The other thing I could do is also make my own turbo kit. So Samet in Japan has sent me a turbo that looks to be fairly decent. It's off a D1GP S15 from Yashio factory. And there's a TO4Z and there's a 1.00 AR. It came off a 2.2 stroker off a D1 GP car, and there's like 5 events old. I feel like it'd be so cool to do that and do a T51R mod to it as well. Any turbo we put on this thing is going to be T51R modded, so we get those hectic spoolie noises. It's going to be absolutely amazing. This car, I just want to sound cool, look cool. I'm not really caring too much about speed on this thing. I don't want it to be able to spin the tires in second, and I know that sounds stupid, but I don't want to be able to spin the tires in this thing. In saying that, we do have a set of super sticky Nankang NS2Rs on the rear in a 265, and a car that weighs like, I don't know, basically nothing, 1.3 ton or something. But the TO4Z, but the turbo that Samet's got me onto will probably make around 450 to 500 on E85, but without E85, it'll sit somewhere comfortably around 420 to 450. So I feel like that would be a nice little power level. Originally, I wanted to try and aim around for 400. I didn't really go to anything crazy, but having a 500 horsepower rotary would be pretty cool. I just want to be able to drive it first. To be honest, if we make 500 horsepower, I'm just going to tell my tuner to turn it down a little bit, because I don't really need that power. I want to really just be able to drive this thing and just have a lot of fun with it. So yes, a little bit more waiting, but it shouldn't be too much longer now. We just got to get that new O-ring and probably get some new gaskets for those turbos there, and we will be sweet. We won't have any more issues. Yeah, I'm stoked. Anyway guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.